If you're a man over 60 and your penis doesn't get hard like it used to, if you wake up tired, drained, and frustrated in the bedroom, listen carefully because what I'm about to share may go against everything you've been told. You don't need more pills, more effort, or to accept this as just aging. In fact, the solution could be as simple as taking just one vitamin, but only at night. And when you take it correctly, the results can feel almost instant. I've seen it happen again and again, even in men with they were too far gone to my name. Is Dr. Mohit Kara. I'm a professor of urology and one of the nation's leading experts in men's health. For over 3 decades, I've helped thousands of men reclaim their energy, their intimacy, and their sense of self, often without medication, simply by working with the body's natural biology. And here's the truth no one's talking about. Most men are taking their vitamins at the wrong time of day, and it's silently sabotaging their sleep, testosterone, and circulation. That's why so many wake up exhausted, flat, and disconnected. One small change in timing can make all the difference. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact vitamin I recommend to men over 60 that helps restore firmer erections, deeper sleep, and better energy. And why this one change taken before bed may be the most powerful thing you can do for your manhood. Stick with me because in just a moment I'll reveal what happens inside your body on night 1, night 14, and night 30, and how you'll know the comeback has begun. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a science backed health tip designed specifically for men over 60. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments to let me know. If it doesn't, type 0 and tell me how I can better support your health and manhood moving forward. All right. Let's begin with the one vitamin I recommend above all others. The one I've seen reignite energy, rebuild confidence, and bring back stronger, fuller erections in men over 60. It's simple, it's natural, and when again before bed, it works in harmony with your body's deepest healing cycle. Let's talk about vitamin D3 and why vitamin of this one nutrient could change everything. Vitamin D3, the one vitamin that changes everything. Vitamin D3, the one vitamin that changes everything. When I think about all the men I've treated over the last 30 years, there's some pattern that never fails to show up. A man walks into my office. He's in his late 60s or early 70s. He's still sharp, still full of life, but quietly carrying a weight he doesn't know how to talk about. His energy is slipping. His sleep is broken. And when it comes to intimacy, he feels like a shadow of the man he used to be. Sometimes he blames age, sometimes stress, but most of the time it's something much simpler. He's missing just one thing, vitamin D3. Now, I know you've probably heard of vitamin D3 before. It's the sunshine of vitamin, right? People take it in the morning with their coffee and forget about it. But here's what they don't realize. Timing is everything. If you take vitamin D3 in the morning, your body won't use it for what really matters. Repair, hormone production, and blood vessel restoration. Why? Because those things don't happen in the morning. They happen at night while you sleep. When taken before bed, vitamin D3 doesn't just sit in your system, it goes to work. It helps stimulate the production of luteinizing hormone, which dulls your body to make testosterone while you sleep. It supports melatonin so you can fall into deeper, more restorative sleep. And maybe most importantly, it increases nitric oxide, the molecule that helps blood flow into the penis and stay there naturally with its force, without pills. I had a patient named George, 68, retired contractor, tough guy. He hadn't had a strong erection in over a year around his labs. Sure enough, his D3 was way below optimal. I didn't put him on testosterone. I didn't write a prescription. I just told him to take 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 every night before bed for 30 days. That's it. On day 21, he called me. His voice husky, almost shaky. "Doc, I woke up hard this morning," he said, like I used to. I didn't think that was still possible. That's the power of one vitamin when it can at the right time. But if vitamin D3 builds the foundation for erections and energy, what happens when the dust I raised there, but the body still won't respond? That's where things get more interesting. Let's keep going. 2. George's story. From flat to firm in 3 weeks, George's story. From flat to firm in 3 weeks, George wasn't the kind of man who liked talking about feelings. He was 68, retired from a lifetime of building homes with his hands. The kind of guy who showed up early, worked hard, and didn't complain. But when he sat, across around me in my office, something in high size gave him away. He looked down, cleared his throat, and said quietly, "Doc, I don't feel like a man anymore." That hit me because I've heard the exact words more times than I can count, and they never get easier to hear. George wasn't sick. His heart was strong. His blood sugar was decent, and his weight was stable. But still, he was exhausted all the time. His sleep was restless. His energy disappeared noon. And when it came to his intimacy with his wife, he said it had been over a year since he felt truly connected physically or emotionally. "I'm still attracted to her," he said. But nothing happens. Nothing wakes up. We ran his labs, and there it was. His vitamin D3 was dangerously low. But instead of jumping to medications or testosterone therapy, I asked him to try something simple, one small change. "Take 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 before bed," I said. "Every night, don't skip it. Don't wait for results. Just trust the process." He didn't seem convinced, but agreed that by week 1, George told me his sleep was deeper. He stopped waking up 3 or 4 times a night. By week 2, his morning grogginess had lifted and he started having enough energy to take morning walks again. But it was week 3 that changed everything. He came back to my office, and this time he was standing straighter. He looked me in the eye and smiled. "Doc," he said, "I woke up hard, and it wasn't a fluke. I feel like I've come back online. What struck. And Mismos wasn't just the physical improvement. It was how he carried himself. There was confidence in his step again, a quiet strength in his voice, and the only thing we changed, one vitamin, one dose, one well-timed act of self-respect each night. But what if I told you George's story is actually more common than you think, and that there's an even deeper reason why this vitamin works so well, one that most men have never heard? Let's explore that next. 3. Why most men are deficient and don't know it. Why most men are deficient and don't know it. You'd be surprised how many men walk into my office looking healthy on the outside, only to discover their bodies are running on empty inside. And the deficiency I see most, vitamin D3. I've seen it in athletes, retired police officers, teachers, fathers, grandfathers, men who spent a lifetime buying strong for everyone else, but never stop to ask, what does my body need to keep going like? This, and here's the truth. By the time most men hit 60, their D3 levels have dropped dangerously low. Not because they did something wrong, but because life had changed. You're not outside all day anymore. Maybe you moved north. Maybe your skin doesn't absorb sunlight like it used to. Maybe you were told to avoid the sun to protect your skin. Whatever the reason, your body is now missing a nutrient items got every single day from natural light. And that absence starts to quietly take its toll. The trouble is, most men don't know they're deficient. They feel tired, but they blame aging. Erections weaken, but they blame stress. Their sleep suffers, but they think it's just part of getting older. And so the cycle continues. Worse, even the men who do take vitamin D3 often make one critical mistake. They take it in the morning. And while fat might seem harmless, the timing couldn't more off. In the morning, your body is in stress mode, your cortisol levels are high, your nervous system is alert, and your focus is on survival, not repair. So the vitamin gets swallowed, digested, and mostly wasted. But at night, your body enters healing mode. Hormones rebuild, blood vessels repair, testosterone rises. And that's when vitamin D3 becomes a catalyst, not just for recovery, but for transformation. This is why so many men see dramatic changes when they simply shift their D3 to nighttime. More restful sleep, more energy, and yes, erections that come back after months or even years. That is power of proper timing. But if timing is everything, what exactly should you expect when you finally get it, right? The answer might surprise you. Let me walk you through it night by night. 4. What happens by night? The what happens night. By night, the 30-day timeline. 30-day timeline. Most men don't realize how quickly their body can begin to heal when it finally gets what it's been craving. I've had patients come back just days after starting nighttime vitamin D3, surprised by the changes they're already noticing. And no, it's not magic. It's biology real, measurable, and powerful when you give it the right conditions to work. On night 1, something subtle happens. As D3 enters your system during sleep, it begins supporting your natural production of melatonin. That means you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and reach the deeper stages of restorative rest where testosterone and growth hormone are made. You may not feel it immediately, but your body is already working behind the scenes. By night 7, many men tell me they're waking up more refreshed. They're not dragging themselves out of bed like 4. Their minds are clearer in the morning, and their energy starts to carry into the afternoon. One man told me, "Doc, it's the first time I've made it through a whole day without needing a nap in months." That's when I know the vitamin is doing its job. By night 14, the changes start to feel more physical. You might notice your mood lifting, your interest in intimacy returning. Some men report mild warning directions coming back, just enough to remind them of how things used to feel. Sleep gets more consistent. Aches and pains lessen. You're not just surviving day, you're starting to show up for it. By day 21, your body is adjusting to its new rhythm. Circulation improves. The blood vessels that support erections respond more easily. You feel more awake in your body, more present in your relationships. And then by day 30, well, that's when something clicks. For many men, this is when they look in the mirror and say, "I feel like myself again." But what's even more interesting is that this one vitamin doesn't just work alone. In fact, there's a way to make its effects even stronger by pairing it with a few simple bedtime habits most men never think about. Let's talk about those smacks, because this is where real momentum begins. The bedtime boost. Simple habits that supercharge. Results 5. The bedtime boost. Simple habits that supercharge results. Over the years, I've learned that even the most powerful vitamin needs the right environment to do its best work. Think of vitamin D3 like a key. It unlocks healing and performance, yes, but only if the door it fits into isn't jammed shut by poor habits. That's why I always tell my patients, if you really want to wake up energized, sleep deeper, and feel more alive in your skin, don't just take the vitamin, support it. One of the simplest but most overlooked ways to do that is by shutting off all screens, TVs, phones, tablets at least 30 minutes before bed. I know it sounds basic, but blue light from screens suppresses your body's melatonin, which is the hormone that signals it's time to wind down. And if melatonin can't rise, neither can testosterone or nitric oxide, both of which depend on deep sleep, to be fully produced. When Georgia made this one change, no screens after 9 p.m., he told me his sleep felt like a blanket he hadn't wrapped himself in for years. Another habit. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day. Your body craves rhythm. And when your sleep cycle is stable, everything improves from hormone balance to blood pressure to mental clarity. One man, 74 years old, told me after 2 weeks of consistent sleep, "Doc, I feel like I got 10 years back in my legs." And hydration, don't forget that one. Many men stop drinking water too early, afraid they'll have to wake up in the night. But the trick is to hydrate well through the day and taper off in the evening. That way, your circulation stays smooth, your blood vessels stay open, and your body can absorb the vitamin more efficiently as it repairs. These bedtime habits might seem small, but they act like amplifiers. They take what vitamin D3 is already doing and turn up the dial. Together, they create a nighttime environment where healing is just possible. It's inevitable, but here's the thing. Some men still hesitate. They wonder if it's too late, if they're too far gone, or if their body has stopped responding. That fear is real. But so is the hope that follows. Let me show you what I tell every man who thinks it's already over. Am I too old for this to work? The answer I give every man 6. Am I too old for this to work? The answer I give every man. This is the question I hear most often from men over 60, spoken in different words, but always with the same quiet dash beneath it. "Doc, I'm not 40 anymore. Maybe I missed my window. Is it too late for me?" I hear that fear. I see doubt in their eyes, especially from those who've tried pills, diets, or treatments that promised the world and delivered nothing. But let me tell you something I've learned in over 30 years of treating men's health. Your body is always listening, and it never forgets how to heal. I've had men in their 70s and even 80s walk into my clinic convinced their best days were behind them. Some hadn't had a full erection in over a year. Some couldn't sleep more than 2 hours without waking up drenched in fatigue. One man, 76, told me he had given up even trying. I figured this is just how it ends, Hesed. But we started simple. One a vitamin, one new bedtime habit, no pressure, no hype. And within 4 weeks, he called my office, his voice shaking. "Doc, it worked. I woke up this morning like I was 25 again." That's not an exaggeration. That's physiology. Because when you support your body at night, when testosterone, nitric oxide, growth hormone, and blood flow all rise naturally, you're not forcing anything. You're just stepping out of the way and letting your body do what it was designed to do. So to any man asking if it's too late, no, it's not too late. You're not broken. You're not past your prime. You're just undersupported. And Anseo, give your body the right tools. Even after years of silence, it can come roaring back to life. You just have to believe that your body hasn't forgotten you. And more importantly, you can't forget it. Now, I want to show you the exact type of vitamin D3 I recommend, how to take it safely, and how to avoid the one common mistake that ruins its effectiveness. Stick with me because of this last step is the key to making everything else work. 7, the right vitamin, the right way. What to look for vitamin the right way. What to look for. By now, you've seen just how powerful a vitamin taken at the right time and the right way can be for a man over 60. But there's something important you need to know. Not all vitamin D3 is created equal. And I've seen too many good men waste months taking the wrong kind or taking it incorrectly, only to walk away thinking it didn't work. So let me help you avoid that mistake. First, make sure you're taking vitamin D3. Not just plain DD3 is the active form your body actually uses. Anything less, and your system has to work harder to convert it. Something it doesn't do well after 60. Second, always pair your D3 with vitamin K2. Why? Because D3 helps calcium absorb into the body, but without K2, that calcium can end up in the wrong places, like your arteries. K2 directs it to your bones where it belongs. and keeps your blood vessels flexible, which supports better circulation and stronger erections. Next, dosage. For most men over 60, a daily dose between 2,000 to 5,000 IU is both safe and effective. But the real magic is in the timing. Take it before, ideally with a small amount of healthy fat, like a spoon of almond butter, a few walnuts, or a piece of avocado. This helps your body absorb it better, and as you sleep, it begins to support hormonal repair, vascular function, and deep restorative rest. So let's bring it all together. You've learned that just one nutrient, vitamin D3, can reignite your energy, support harder erections, and help you sleep deeper than you have in years. You've seen how most men are deficient without even knowing it. You've walked through the night by timeline of healing. You've learned the bedtime habits that turn good results into great ones. And most importantly, you've been reminded that it's not too late. Not by a long shot. If you're a man over 60, this isn't themed. It's a reset. One vitamin, one a decision, one small habit before bed that could restore your vitality, your confidence, and your life. I've seen it happen again and again. Now it's your turn.